Today I'm going to give you a chance to put your life together so that there's some wholeness and purpose and direction. And a lot of people just tread water. They keep their head above water, but they're not going anywhere, and they don't have plans of, they're just sort of treading water. So today there's a scripture verse that can help you immensely in this, and it is the one I read in the New Testament. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Now, the word heart doesn't mean just what's ticking here. In this day and time, it meant your total personality, your mind, your will, your emotions, your feelings, all that you are. When you get that way with God, you begin to see Him. And it means integrity. It means you've got it together. It means you're not fragmented anymore, running off 1,000 directions and really doing nothing. It means you have integrity. There's integrity in you, wholeness. Now, the word pure had, I looked up and it had about 28 meanings from Aristotle and Plato all the way up through today. But it means without any blemish. You know, we use the term, that's pure gold. We mean it's real gold with nothing else in it. That's what this word is, pure. It means he has pure motives. He's not angling on you. When you think he's doing something for you, it's really to angle on you and get something from you. That's not purity. The pure person you can count on. He has character. It was used of cloth, white cloth. When it said pure white cloth, it meant there weren't any specks on it or anything. It was genuine. It was really pure. And the people, as Kierkegaard way back said, the pure in heart are those that will one thing. There's one thing you're after, and that's the presence of God, His kingdom, and His love. And you have that overwhelming goal towards that. Now, I know a lot of people think this is, well, let me read you what someone said. Purity of heart, to will one thing, that's outdated in our society. We have outgrown being pure in action and thought. We know how to cover anger with a smile, how to act angry when we're not. We have an entire repertoire of words, smiles, acts, and attitude, and we know when to call on them right at the right moment, depending on the group of people we're with. The wise, the sophisticated, acts as he wants to, not as he is. He can play Little Mary Snowflake or Sir Paul Pureheart with just flicking a switch, but that's not who he is. We have all been carefully schooled in the University of Life. We're a tiger at the office. We're a lamb at home. We love our neighbors if it's convenient and they don't get in our way. We have learned a new ethic. If it hides me, say it. If it exalts me, shout it. If it feels good, do it. That's the way we will live today. Pretty bad, isn't it? Well, the point is, business is smarter than that. I can tell you this. I have read a lot on business because you need it in the church. And the first thing in business is to know where you're going. You can pay $5,000 and go downtown and hear these great men that have made it in business. That is the first thing they teach you. Then they'll teach you some other things. But they say, where are you? Where are you going? Do you have any purpose? Do you know where your goal is? If you don't, you'll never get there because you don't know what it is. And you can pay $5,000 and you'll hear that downtown. when these men come in that are so successful. So business is smarter than that. They know that unless you have a goal, you're going to fail. In fact, you can fail without even knowing it if you don't have a goal. You just don't make it. When we get in war, the people that conduct wars know how important a purpose is. Some of you are old enough, and for those of you that weren't, let me tell you some things that happened in World War II. The war began, and the first thing they did almost was to ration everything. You like to go out and get your little 22 and shoot in the woods? You couldn't get bullets. They all went to the war. They gave you rationing books, and you could only eat so much meat a week. You could only have so many shoes every few months. Everything was rationed. Everything you did, they said, a slip of the lip may sink a ship. Be careful if you have a friend that's sailing out. If you went on the beach and took pictures of the beach, they'd come and pull your film out of your camera and say, you can't do that. It may get into the wrong hands. That's, I guess, the most America's ever been united. And it was for one purpose, to win this war and keep freedom. But you see, even in war, if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there. So, for the Christian, here's what Paul said. 1 Corinthians 10:31, whatever you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all to glorify God. That's what the Christian does. He becomes part of his kingdom. He glorifies God in his life. He knows what he's doing. Now, you don't have a divided heart. The thing that destroys you is when you want this and this and this and this and this, and you don't have the money to do it all, and you certainly don't have the time to do it all, but you want everything around you. You want to go see the Bucks, and you want to take care of your children, but you can't do both. They're too small to go. So which do you choose? You see, when you get fragmented, trying to run everywhere at once, it's like they talked about the knight who was confused, and he saddled his horse and rode off in every direction. And that's the way some of us live. Everything's as important as everything else. Well, it's not. If you don't have a major goal, you're divided. But Christ said, no man can serve two masters, or 4 masters, or 8 masters if you happen to have them in your life. You can't do that. You need one to be a person of integrity. That's why the first commandment says, you don't go after other gods. You don't worship me in the temple and then run up on the hill and worship the other gods. You have direction, you have purpose, and I am that purpose. And let me tell you, when you get that, whether you're young or old, things start shaping up in your life. Why do half of the freshmen in America flunk out, the first-year students? Because they don't have much goal other than to have fun and go to parties and be with the gang. I happen to know that very personally through my experience and through others. I didn't flunk out, but you could very easily. Because for the first time, you're free. I can do anything I want to, and I can stay up all night if I want to. Even if I have a test tomorrow, I can stay up. See, you're not unified. You don't have the goal of getting through college. You have the goal of having fun. Oh boy, is that great. See, when you have purpose, things start falling in place. You know what you're supposed to be doing. I've heard the funniest little thing, a true story. There was a minister in England at the time the bombing started. The Germans started bombing them. And they lived upstairs in the pastorium, and they got a telephone call, the bombers are coming. And so he started getting ready, and you could hear the noise. the drone of the planes coming close. His wife ran downstairs and got ready because he was the air raid warden, and he had to go out and be sure all the blinds were by and people were off and lights were off on cars and everything. It was an important job because the bombers could zero in on lights they saw in the city. And so his wife was downstairs and he was still upstairs, and the planes were getting closer and they were getting overhead. And she yelled up, "Come on down, dear. You got to get out there." And he said, "I can't find my dentures." And she said, "You don't need them. They're not dropping, they're dropping bombs. They're not dropping sandwiches. Come on down. They need you." Well, you see, he had his priorities mixed up. Teeth weren't priorities when bombs were falling. And this is what I'm telling you. And things happen. Suddenly, you're not a chameleon anymore. You don't change colors with every group you're with. You are who you are with integrity. And in a marriage, look at that. You don't have a wandering eye. You're not looking at other people. You're not saying other things. Your marriage, your wife is the thing that's important. And whether your friends can trust you, they know when you have integrity. When you say yes or no, you mean it. And they don't have to say, "Really?" They know you're a person of integrity. So it helps there. In business, people have to have pure hearts and profit in the whole thing. It's to worship God in your business, to show God's love and law in what you do. I had a dear friend who, in my church a while back, and he hired his best friend to be part of the business. And after about 15 years, he found out that the man had robbed him blind, and he knew how to cook the books. No integrity. When you have integrity, your boss can treat you. See, I have direction and purpose. And when you have direction and purpose on an important journey, you don't stop to throw stones at every dog that comes out to bark at you. You have something more important to do. You've got your life together. This is what counts. Now that I put God first and glorifying Him, I can work on my time. What do I do that doesn't glorify Him? What can I do that does glorify Him? I can know what to do with my money. How am I supposed to spend my money? How do I do it so that it glorifies God? See, I have togetherness here. I'm not looking at everything to try to decide what to do. I have order now. I have order. I'm not chasing other gods. And anything that takes your time and your money can become a god. It really can. And God must be the first in your life so that all these other things find their proper places. Otherwise, you're going to saddle up and ride off in every direction. Purpose of glorifying God and enjoying Him. The Presbyterians have it right. I don't know. We have a lot of Presbyterian background in our family. You hear me quote them. This is the reason. The books I studied in seminary, my aunt knew these men, happened to be Presbyterians, that were writing the books. I was really impressed. But they have a little saying, the chief end of man is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. I think they just about put the whole thing together there. That's good, isn't it? Enjoy Him forever. That means this life and the next. Now, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. I love this story. Admiral Drake, was one of the great British privateers. That he looted other nations' boats that were carrying gold back and all. And there was a sailor that sailed with him, and he was saying how great it was to be with Captain Drake. And one of his friends said to him, "Well, I can see why that's true. look at all the booty you all got, all the money from, and the crew got a split of that. And the man said, no, that isn't it at all. I sailed with Drake. That was the greatest thing. This is what you do in your Christian life. The greatest thing is, I see God, I walk with him. And listen, you can see God. You can see God in the faces of children that you help, people that you lift, people that you witness to. You can get to where you see God. You can feel the presence of God in the sunset. Eleanor and I took an afternoon off and went over to the beach and had a picnic and sat on the beach till the sun set. Boy, what an experience. And God didn't even have to sign it. I knew who had done that picture. That's what I'm saying. And the storm comes and he refreshes the land. He gives us beauty in the mountains and the stream. His presence is there. And when you try to live close to him, you begin seeing beauty in nature that you never saw before because this God made it. That's it. So I'd like for you to start on a new adventure. You know, New Year's is coming. It'll be here. Well, I mean, we're already celebrating Christmas in the stores, so New Year's can't be far off. And they found that more people turn over leaves then and start new directions and make resolutions that usually last about a week, but they start in New Year. Well, I'm telling you, this can be New Year's Day for you today. If you start with God, if you make him first, if you trust what he did for you, the cross of the resurrection, this can be New Year's Day for you. And you can put it down the rest of your life. This is when I started over. When Israel came out of Egypt, they changed the calendar because it was new. They were free. They changed the months. This is what I'm talking about. So today, I've said all this to say this. You can quit treading water or quit running after 40 different things and having nothing dominant in your life, or you can trust God and find that in him is unity and integrity and wholeness. You're at last no longer fragmented. You're put together by God in a wholeness. You trust him. And Jesus calls us, is one of the songs that, yes, he really calls us. The great thing about God is you don't have to look for him. He's been looking for you. You have to trust the one who's been looking for you. The one who wants to make you their child, the one who wants to give you salvation, forgiveness, wholeness, direction, and purpose, and integrity. He puts you together as his child, and you'll never be the same. Thank God, you'll never be the same. So today I want you to make that decision. I think it's very important. I know it's very important. I know lives, it has changed so much. People that were going nowhere in a hurry suddenly found God, and life made meaning. We're going to give an invitation. It's not fair to tell you all this and then not invite you to enjoy it. If you haven't trusted God, I want you to come and say, this day is New Year's. I'm coming. I'm starting over. I am tired of what I've been doing. I'm tired of treading water. And some Christians who really haven't had a direction like you should, it's sort of gotten all fuzzy. I want you to come and rededicate yourself and say, today it starts again. Today I will find God's complete forgiveness and begin following him. As we sing our invitation hymn now, I invite you to come and